appreciate ya. What? It's fine, it's fine. Like, people do that, you know, as long as it's yellow.
This clip to me is pretty egregious. I don't think there's any good way to defend this. It wasn't like this was just some very close red light. It was red for like 2 seconds before she even approached the intersection. Look, a lot of people, they get caught in no man's land when they're driving where the light goes yellow and you have to make a decision. Do I apply the brakes firmly and wait for the red light, or do I maintain speed and go through the light and hopefully get past it before it goes red? This was not that situation. It was a firm red for seconds before she even got to the intersection, and it's clear as day that she was distracted by her chat that's only there because she's streaming, trying to monetize every aspect of her life, even driving around in Austin, Texas. Really bad look. And of course, she got a 1-day suspension for this, where she arguably put other people at risk by doing this. But a few months prior to that, back in January, a very rough January for Extra Emily here, she had another controversy that people thought was the product of some dangerous decisions, where she was checking out a Glock owned by Ms. Kiff, and she started waving it around. Now, this Glock was not loaded, but anyone who cares about gun safety whatsoever knows you treat any gun like it is loaded. You don't start waving it around in the direction of other people. This is the clip, and there's two things that are just kind of mind-meltingly stupid about this.
You have two magazines.
They're clips.
Sorry, clips. What's this, a magazine?
No, they're all clips.
Oh.
They are magazines, by the way, so he's wrong, and he can't even explain the difference between the two because he's wrong. But anyways.
What's a magazine then?
It's different.
Oh, okay, I don't know about that. And then you go bloop, and you go chuk chuk chuk.
Oh shit, Emily fucking
There's nothing in here!
Solves any problem.
That's crazy. I'm sorry, that is a crazy clip right there. I mean, she pointed at him, at herself. I mean, that is nuts. Again, number one rule, you treat every gun like it is loaded. There's no excuse for that. And she's been to shooting ranges before. She should know better than this. And I think that's just common sense generally, even if you haven't had any experience with a firearm. But of course, there was one major controversy that's going to underlie what we're going to talk about for the rest of this video in the DMCA claim. Back in what month? January, there was another controversy where she revealed by her own action that her parents spent $170,000 on her college tuition, which is, of course, for a degree she's not using, but I mean, many such cases in this world. But she admits this, and it's not because her parents don't want her to pay. She makes it abundantly clear publicly to her chat that she just doesn't want to, which is a problem because she is a millionaire, and a lot of people think it's selfish to borrow all that money, and the parents in the clip say they practically went broke as a result of spending all this money, and then to have the flippant attitude of, well, I don't have to and I don't want to, it didn't get received well by her chat to the point where she ended up crying on screen.
Your best kids towards your dad or your parents to pay back your tuition?
I'm never gonna pay it back though.
Wait, actually?
No, I don't want to.
But you could.
Yeah, but I'm not going
Do
to.
you have student loans?
Yeah, student loans to my parents.
And you're making them pay it off?
No, like my parents paid, and then they're like, "Pay us back for college," and I just like don't want to.
But don't you think that would make them like really happy and proud?
No, they're fine.
Are you doing it kind of like almost out of spite because you're like, I don't want to because like I can, but I know that you guys don't need it?
Yes,
That's why you got you though.
yes, they don't need it. And I'm
You
like,
don't need it.
I'm just a bad daughter.
You are.
It's fine. The only reason they want me to pay it back is because I'm a streamer.
Yeah, you should pay it back.
Because I didn't use my degree. So they're like,
How much
okay,
is it?
170.
You should pay it back.
I don't want to. I mean, I did pay them 10K, and then I was like, I'm over this. I don't want to pay anymore. Mom! Do you think it's a waste that I went to college?
That is a really good question. I spent a lot of money on that. And then you become a streamer.
Yeah, but I'm also helping.
That's a really good question. I don't know how to answer it.
But I'm paying you back for college.
Yes, that's right. That's unnecessary.
That's necessary?
Yeah, we're almost broke because you went to the college, go to the expensive one. Yeah.
Okay, so what's it?
No, you know what it is? It's exhaustion.
Yeah, I think I'm just exhausted.
It's exhausting. Listen, if it makes you feel any better, at least your parents still talk to you.
Yeah, my parents are cool.
I only got one left.
Like, my parents are like overall really happy and think I'm a good daughter.
Now later on, she would try to say that this was more of how her and her mom interact and wasn't supposed to be that deep. And maybe there's some truth to that, but just admitting off the cuff that you just don't want to pay it whatsoever, despite being someone who is very successful at what they do. They've made a lot of money in their career. It obviously rubs a lot of people the wrong way, and she took this very personally, and a lot of people were on her for this one. So she would make a public response saying that she is paying back the tuition. She says paid back like it's completed. That is not clear here. It seems like she's still actively paying her parents back for this money. I'll explain that in a second. But she admits in her explanation that if it wasn't for this whole controversy, she probably never would have changed her attitude on this and probably would have never paid any more of the tuition back to her parents. But she provided proof with this lump sum right here for $46,000. And a lot of people are like, whoa, this is getting so parasocial. Like everyone's up in her business. She shared this with her chat. She initiated this whole thing. Nobody would have known about this if she didn't so openly share it without understanding that it would make people have a negative impression of her. But of course, I point out this number right here because it's not the entire total. It seems like they're on some sort of an agreement, a payment plan or something where she's going to pay it off over time. So just keep that in mind because it's relevant to the clip that got DMCA'd. So back to this tweet made by the account Yeet here, who makes a lot of clips of various streamer drama and stuff like that. So you can see it's been taken down with a DMCA. And in this case, she was once again streaming in her car and she had her dad on speakerphone, where you can see this caption applied to the clip. Extra Emily's dad asked the question, "Did you pay your college tuition back to us yet?" And Emily says, "Don't bring that up, I'm gonna get canceled." And then a DMCA takedown was applied after this clip would go live.
So, could you let me know, did you pay the tuition, your college tuition back to us?
Yes!
This year?
Yes!
I never heard a mom say that.
Dad, don't bring that up! I'm gonna get canceled!
Yeah, cancel what?
Canceled on the internet! I'm hanging up. Bye.
Okay. So your chat heard this. Okay, they can check it. You know.
Bye, Dad.
Okay, so why you avoid this topic?
Cause I got so much hate for it. You don't even know.
Oh, for this one?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that doesn't sound good. We want you to pay us back happily.
Yes.
Not get any burden or something.
I'm hanging up. My dad is gonna go crazy. I'm gonna get another clip. I'm gonna get canceled again.
So to make two things clear right now, number one, this was a DMCA takedown of a stream that she already nuked herself. But she obviously felt some sort of a way about this clip and how that phone call with her father went down. She got nervous, very insecure about all this, and now she's not only nuking her own stream, she is DMCAing people like Yeet, who are going out of their way to post this for archival purposes or for criticism, what have you. And the other thing I want to make clear here is I'm going to give some leeway to Emily here. I think her father was joking. I think he was kind of teasing her, like that's probably their humor that they're doing. She's in the process of paying it off, and he's just kind of teasing her because, you know, she got canceled and now they're trying to laugh about it, right? So I don't really understand doing a DMCA takedown. This is like the lowest of the low. When people resort to stuff like this, it's always going to cause a lot of controversy. This was a very bad decision. Was that clip so bad, it was worth using a DMCA takedown to silence anyone reposting it? Absolutely not. And on top of that, you have this discussion people are having about the legality of this. Is this a fair use or an actual fair application of a DMCA takedown? Was this a fair use post that was made by Yeet here? I think you could debate on it. The consensus generally seems to be, well, if you're posting a clip from Twitch with some sort of archival or even point of criticism attached to it, that should be protected, and people are taking this very seriously. But overall, you can have a much more simple question without even thinking about the law. Just ask yourself, was this a smart idea? And I think anyone looking at this objectively knows that was a bad idea. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. This had the Streisand effect. This clip is now getting way more attention than it ever was going to, and it shows that she's insecure about it and wanted it gone completely, no matter what risk to her reputation comes with it. And also keep in mind, she never DMCA'd the other clips we looked at. So she's saying this one in particular is so bad, it has to be shut down. Not the other clips with the N-word thing, the gun clips, or the red light stuff. All of that was left, but this one, for some reason, was so triggering, it had to go. Important to keep that in mind. And also, you can see people in the proposed community notes trying to abuse that system to get a note applied to the tweets, which doesn't really make any sense because it says, the post contained a quote, "Did you pay your college tuition back to us yet?" Without context, this quote may be mistaken as she hasn't started paying, which is inaccurate. This new context clarifies Emily has confirmed she's already begun paying. Well, that doesn't really match up. If people are getting confused on this direct quote from the clip, that's their problem. And I think we're all in agreement. The way it sounds, she's at least starting to pay. So this note doesn't make any sense. It's trying to add this for additional context to try to discredit the clip. Which again, it's kind of weird trying to discredit a post that contains a clip and a quote directly from the video itself. Kind of odd, right? But anyways, Dan Saltman would actually weigh in on this. And quoting it, the previous post would say, "Initiate a counterclaim. I will pay 100% of the legal costs. Clipping for criticism is fair use. Lifting an entire stream is not." And that seems to be how most people understand this system. And that's why when people use DMCA takedowns or abuse the YouTube copyright system to take down people reacting to clips or criticizing clips, people get very outraged. That's kind of like the general terms I think we've all just agreed on, right? And legally it makes a lot of sense. But of course, Yeet would then quote that, tagging Extra Emily saying, "Release the claim or I will counterclaim with Dan's help and seek restitution and attorney's fees. He won't settle either, LOL. Last chance before this spirals out of control for you." This is so extra, no pun intended. This is what's happening, right? Mountain out of a molehill. You had this clip that looked a little awkward, could have been explained away with a reply by Emily or a quote or a separate tweet adding additional context saying, hey, he was just joking around, I'm still in the process of paying, blah, blah, blah. This is just our sense of humor.